Hello, I'm Mikołaj Kurcin. Today, lecture will be about the CI/CD at FlyingWildHog. Because of today's development process, everything takes time. So, for us, is as much important as just normal development to make everything faster, smoother, and more efficient. So basically, because of that, we try to optimize our CI/CD to uh, the uh, the best result we can achieve. Before we start the lecture agenda, we start with distributed compiling. Next, we will cover Unreal Game Sync, swarm reviews, builds, how we made builds and cooked pack game. Of course, we also need to make monitoring of our CI/CD to make sure everything is working fine. And at the end will be question and answers session. So also a few words about FlyingWildHog. This is a company that makes AA games. In previous year, we released Shadow Warrior 3, Evil West, and Trek to Yami, and that for us is big success, and we are very proud of it. So yeah, making games is fun. About me, I'm Mikołaj Kurcin. I have 5 years experience in game industry. As a DevOps engineer, I have 1 year of experience, and half of the year, I think, right now. But previously, I was also making CI/CD as developer as well. And also, I'm really cloud. I'm really working also with clouds because it's nice to extend our build pharma and make games with multiplayer. So let's begin. Everything that we do in game dev, it starts from code. We developers makes some sort of feature, some sort of changes in engine or something else. So everything must be compiled, but compiling takes time, and for Unreal Engine and for us, the compiling time takes a lot of time. Like we knew that we need to find a solution to make it as fast as possible. So one of the solutions that we implement in our company is that we make distribution compiling, and this works like if some developers just looking in code or just is making some minor changes that is not needed to have use of CPU or any other resources that can be used also by the other developers, because every single working station is in the same office. We connecting to our workstation via parsec. So in local network, we can just share libraries to other workstation, and they can just compile it in parallel, like not using just one CPU, just using every single we can possibly use at the moment. So This is speed upping our process of compiling a lot. And on one of our most powerful machines, the clean build of binaries takes about 1 hour and 1 minute. So please imagine how developers can be distracted by just waiting 1 hour for everything to compile. But with SNDBS, we take this take the time to the half of was on the start. So we managed to save a lot of time in daily basics. Of course, with the incremental builds is much slower, much smaller time savings, but also it's beneficial for us to even with incremental builds to use SNDBS. And also, not everyone needs to compile code. Like developers, programmers need to write code and just compile it to test it and see the feature is working fine, the bugs disappear or something else. But for example, testers, art designers, of anyone that needs just have working editor don't need to have don't need to compile binaries by themselves. So solution for us is just they do not do it. So they just download previously built editor and use it like they just compiled it on by themselves. So for us, and I believe for most of the companies that works with Unreal Engine, the solution is Unreal Game Sync. So they just the testers, art designers can just download everything from the perforce that was precompiled by build node in on our build system. So for us, locally clean build, it takes about 1 hour 1 minute. And with SNDBS, like I said, it's like 31 minutes. And next improvement for non-developers is to use SNDBS, and it takes only 21 seconds. So this is huge time saving for us and allows us to reduce waiting a lot. Of course, binaries must be compiled and uploaded by build node, but it's done just once, and not there is no need to everyone be on the newest possible version that is available on Perforce. So it's great benefit for us. Also, UGS don't stop only with binaries. We have integrated Epic add-ons to it. We have status that allow everyone to see some messages or who is using certain change list right now. And this sometimes for us, if for example editor crashed and there is a huge problem with reliability of editor, just some developers write a note and everyone knows there is some sort of problem with editor, or just they fix it. The next thing that is worth to mention that we use build infos for every developer that and testers for them to know how build went and if everything went successfully. For example, here you can see the only green badges, but if you probably see the blue or red ones, that means that the build is still running or build just fails, and it's easy access to the logs because there's also a clickable button to provide easily access to logs. And the third thing that is nice for everyone working with UGS is links for the Jira. It's just regexing the description of change list and searching for the name of the ticket. So automatically by regexing this description, everyone can have easy access to the ticket on Jira and have in second without any looking on all the boards. So it's save time also. And this is how it looks like in whole, but honestly, because this is our next projects, I must do censorship like 90% of that because of NDA, you know. And badges and status can be achieved by setting up metadata server. It's also can be modified by yourself to even provide more info. This is just a simple API server that provides access to MySQL's database. So you can push there if is properly cover with API to push anything from build nodes with the standard configuration standard application of metadata server. Build nodes can push information about builds and users can download it from the UGS and also push information to the MySQL as well because of usage or some message to anyone that is using UGS. And yeah, but for using UGS, the code must compile because there is no way to distribute binaries if the code is not compiling at all. So we must to be sure that every change list has a proper working code and can be compiled. To achieve this, we do it like in two steps. The first step is to have a swarm, and in swarm we have connected automated tests that run every time anyone create review for the change list. So basically because of that we can check anything we want before submitting change list to the perforce. So we can change the compilation of the code of anything else that we want to check. But also we need to make sure everyone are doing this. So we make sure that every developer is creating review, and because of that, testing and code base that they wrote. So we are forcing, but not like we say to them, like, just please make reviews and test it. We just force it by the triggers, and we are not allowing anyone to push any changes without a review. So because of that, we also have 1% sure that everyone are doing it, because anyone will without review get notification and get back with the change list. But how we test not submitted changes? The easiest answer is the swarm automatically create a shelves, because every change that is in review is shelved. We have easy access from the build machines just to copy it to local workstation and do all the automated tests. But this brings some sort of problems. For example, exclusive checkout is a huge pain working with perforce and assets on the Unreal Engine, because UAssets or any binary files are in our company set up as exclusive checkout. So we can have just one checkout version of this file on whole the perforce in the company. So because of that, we need to make sure everyone is setting up to remove local copy of changes if there is some sort of binary files, and sometimes they don't know about it, and there is huge problem. Even the swarm has problem with that, because swarm also wants to check the shelf and cannot check it also on it itself. So don't even allow to accept a change list. So the review is like useless. We cannot accept it, or we cannot submit it. This is like huge problem, but we are working to resolve it by our internal solutions that we wrote for that. And it's also a problem if the projects or the engine is failing. The review also will not pass the test, because there is no option to compile with included changes project if the project itself is not compiling at all. So because of that, we have forcing review. Forcing review is minimizing this problem and as small as possible, but also because there is always option to make some changes that is not compiling and still passing the test, because, for example, test passed like 2 weeks ago, and some other developers just make changes a day ago, and was like misunderstanding of changes. This can also fail. So we have option to skip forcing review if there is emergency need of that. So it's also important to make some backdoors for that. But how we build our changes or on game, we build sorry, but this was like about the binaries. So everything is everyone have editor, everyone can just work with it, and because of that they have make all the maps, all the assets, all the features that they want to make. And because of next phase of development, we want to make a build that tester can test it, or even on the finish we want to release a build of our game. So we need to make sure everything is set created in proper way. So we make some sort of changes on assets by not by hand but automatically. For example, light mass, navigation, and sound banks. This allows us to make sure that no one is forgetting, for example, submitting some files, or they have cached something that was bad. So we are doing that automatically on the Jenkins side. So we are always have the newest version of that, and also we are having the clean, nice version that we are have 100% that is correct. So we already have everything set up, and we want to have a build. So we are doing builds in by two ways. Nightly, every night we are building every night we are building a game, and cooking and packing it. So everyone at the morning they have fresh build that is 100% working, or if not, we know there is some problems. There is huge amount of times that someone changed something that we are not tested, and is working on editor, but not even allowing us to build a game. So because of that, we have we can just make some action fast, and find some a person that make a mess, and ask gently to fix it. So we know that every night, if there is some problem or not with build, and if there is no, everyone have fresh build at the morning. And of course, sometimes we want to have builds on demand, but we had problems that no one knows how to build proper build but on its own. So everyone was asking DevOps teams to make sure and make build and make sure everything is built correctly. But honestly, that was like huge amount of time we waste just to make builds, and we are not we can just make it more automated, more user friendly, to save our time and makes next improvement in our build system. So Because of that, we made as simple as possible Jenkins job that do everything for developers, and also allows to build from shelves, because some sort of changes are visible only on the build, so they also want to make build with shelves. And there was few problems about making builds, because project files download about 1 to 2 hours to the building node. So every time we want to build again, we cannot just wait 1 or 2 hours to everything was downloaded. For example, our game right now is having something around 500 gigabytes of data. So this is a lot. Even if local network, it take a huge amount of time to just download the project files. And because of that, we have on every single build node prepared workspace for building, and this is dedicated for one type of job and one type of project. But also for every stream, we also need to have prepared workspace, because with different streams we have some sort of differences. So we have also prepare every single stream separately, and to this generate next problem that we need to have a lot of this space. So our build nodes have a lot of storage that can be used. Fortunately for us, the disk for nowadays is like the one of the cheapest hardware. So that was a small problem to really solve only with IT. And we added a huge amount of space to build nodes. And the next problem is clean compilation takes about 1 hour. Like I said, locally on build node was like 1 hour. SNDBS is fixing this, cut this time in half, but honestly, there's also a huge amount time to wait. So we are making incremental builds. We are not cleaning or delete intermediates of cache they're even cached. So we have only to compile the needed changes that was made. And also because of have cached and intermediates, we making clean builds as low as possible. But honestly, because of release, we are making some clean builds, because we need to make sure release builds are the cleanest one as possible. So shippings or milestone builds must be done clean. But this is like one type of build that is made really rare. So there is this is some sort of not improved time that we knows, but we don't want to make it faster because of reliability of shipping builds. But also because the intermediates and cache takes a lot of space in Unreal, we also need to even more disk space on build nodes. But there is next problem with the distributing jobs to nodes. We have not only one but more built nodes, and the first thing that we notice that Jenkins is managing this in terrible way, and we find a nice load balancer for Jenkins that is not looking for the first free executor, but are looking for the build node that is that build node that has the most available resources. So this make a huge improvement for our huge improvement for our build system. But also because of every workspace is prepared, we also need to prepare every single workspace on every single build node, because there is no option to build from the disk that we don't have mounted to this machine. So we have to configure it also that to every build node, that every single time someone is running build and the Jenkins is choosing the preferred build node, and the configuration must change a little bit, because there is a new path to the workspace, or some changes with the SDK or anything else. So every single build node have own slightly modified configuration. But also because everywhere we have prepared every single stream and every single project, we need to have even more disk space. And for example, one our machine is having I think 16 terabytes of available space to use for a workspace only. And next problem for our company was that some sort of developers was making a huge amount of changes in a small amount of time, because they was like submitting one file of C++ or something like that. So because of that, we are skipping our jobs that we can skip. For example, binaries in UGS are compiled only the newest change list, and we have some gaps in change list. But honestly, no one is bothering about this. Everyone just are using the newest that they can use. If there is really need to make a certain CL for UGS or builds, we also have option for that, but honestly I don't think anyone is using that. And because of reviews, we also slowing down developers to make sure everything is working fine. It's not like they just spamming of the change list as fast as they can and make a huge mess. So they need to think twice what they add to the change list, and there is every single file that is needed. So this also allows us to keep some sort of change list that are just part of the fixed of the previous change list, because there was something missing, and was like 5 next change list with fixed, but only the fifth or sixth one is was resolving a problem. So yeah, there was a huge amount of spams, but review are stopping them from that. But after we have already built it and packaging, again we need to upload it somewhere. It's for our company, the two best option was Google and network storage, that network disk that can be connected and mounted to the Windows. So because there is some two ways of uploading it, and honestly we are also considering the third option to storage build. We need a nice solution to make this as easy to upload as possible, and we are using Airclone. Airclone is a nice app that just allowing to configure once storage destination of build, and just copy it with the same command for every single cloud or every single destination where can be build stored. And also it's resolve our problem with Google Drive when we want to make huge amount of uploads one day. There was the Google was showing us problem with limits, but the Airclone and service account for Google was resolving this, and we never saw this problem again. But also after everything is correctly built and uploaded, we also need to monitoring everything that we can and we want to monitor in our CI/CD. And for Windows and Linux, we are using exporters for Windows export, and for Linux Node exporters. And also we use Jenkins metrics. Everything is connected to Prometheus and Grafana. So we have nice graphs and dashboards for our build system, and we also know what is going on in places and that something can go wrong. For example, I have here a screen of our build pharma with the storage available on every build node. Every single disk except the C drive have 4 terabytes of data, and we still running out of space, but for us there is no problem to attach even more disk space, because this machine has a lot of connectors for the disks because we think twice about it. And yeah, for us, we are not using Discord or Slack, so we in our company need to think smarter, and we use email. So because of that, we have huge mess on our inbox, but honestly, this is only this can be easily managed by, in our Google accounts, and we see what is more important, most fire hazard in our build system. And it has also nice feature that have smartphone notification that we know in the same time that something appears, we already know there is something going on with our build system. And why we checked it automatically, but not by hand, because we know everything is going what is going on. We have information about some sort of problem even before this becomes a problem. This can be just some sort of threshold that we know in near future this will become a problem. But also it's not question if something happened, it's always the question when it happened, like some sort of VPN was broken, some sort of problem with even electricity in our studio, and one studio is going down with nodes and nobody knows what is going on. So we need to make sure that everything is monitored by our Prometheus and Grafana, and we know everything is also set up to be alert in our Grafana. And yeah, of course, we already learned that if something is not monitored, there is huge possibility to be this thing that goes bad, like every time we forgot to set up some monitoring or some sort of alerting for us, there was probably this one thing that will go really bad. So finishing my lecture, I want to say we're using distributing compiling with the SNDBS that works perfectly for our old platforms. Also, we are using Unreal GameSync precompiled binary storage on the Perforce. Meta server with badges and statuses, Jira links to make everyone have directly access to the tickets they are want to see. Swarm reviews to test everything before submitting this to mainstream and making or make mainstream MS. Forcing review to make sure everyone is making review. In build system, we are using night builds to make sure every night is also or tested or we have fresh build at the morning. Also, we need to make on-demand builds as easy as possible to make sure no DevOps or build master is needed to make a build for developers or testers. They can do it by themselves. Rclone to upload builds to make everything as same way for every single destination of build. Monitoring system, Windows exporter, Node exporter, and Jenkins metrics are imported to the Prometheus and Grafana to make sure everything is working nice, and auto mailing alerting to show everything is working fine, and if something go bad, we have a fast notification that something went terrible wrong. So any question, here is my information if you want to contact me. Any questions? Yeah.
Okay. So,
Wait a second.
One. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the extensive presentation. I have basically probably two questions. You mentioned about the UGS.
Yeah.
And if you could elaborate and explain me a little. This is, I have seen once it on my colleague screen. And you repeated this today, that this is somehow connected with Perforce. And I came to conclusion that this is some kind of wrapper around the Perforce. But can you explain me? And you mentioned about the pre-builds. So what is the main purpose of UGS? Just to not use just Perforce.
UGS allowing you to basically the thing of using UGS is using Perforce and allowing you to sync binaries for the editor, so you have working editor without compiling it at all. The Perforce this connects, like you see every change list from the Perforce, but still UGS you also allow you to make as much faster accessible editor.
Okay, just Perforce plus
Yeah, and
okay.
so add-ons, like I said previously. But honestly, for some art designers, testers, they don't need to use P4V or something like that at all. They just use UGS.
Okay. Thank you. And as we talking about the Unreal Engine generally, I have seen once that Unreal Engine contains some kind of built-in testing system. I have a just question just from my mind. Do you work with that tool? I have seen built-in ones, just single window that it contains unit tests inside Unreal Engine. And do you work with it?
Honestly, I don't know we using this system you mentioned, but there is some sort of programmers that are making some sort of test that we are running. We on the DevOps side and our company, we only make sure they are run properly and the result is properly delivered to the swarm. But honestly, we have also inside system of testing that measure the also performance of game, like the errors of anything that can occur during the gameplay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
One, two. Hi. First of all, thank you for the talk. I got a few questions. First of all, you've mentioned a load balancer plugin for the job queue. Could you elaborate what plugin do you exactly use in your studio? Because there are a few.
Honestly, I cannot say it right now because I didn't remember. I can you can
Scoring
just
load
ask
balancer?
me when I will be in front of my desk, and just I will
Okay,
just check
fine.
it.
No problem. Second thing, about the build nodes setup. If I understood correctly, you have a few projects now in the studio, right? In parallel.
Few, no, not much.
Okay. Well, you have build nodes, though these are bare bone, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So how do you set these up? Because of course you sometimes need different tools. So do you keep the tools in the version control system, or do you set them up directly on the build nodes? Do you use some orchestration tool, or do you do manually?
Our IT department have a system that allows you to monitor and check what kind of software are installed on every machine in our company, so we know what is installed and we can install it from remote host. And with the build nodes, the configuration is rather the same. There is no much differences. We install all the SDKs, all the needed tools on every single build node. Like, this is only copy to make new resources that we can use, not like there is big changes between them.
Yeah. Okay. What's the name of this tool the IT uses?
Come on.
Tricky one.
Also, this use IT, like I just they just give the bash script to make sure everyone is everything be set and installed properly. Like the only downside is if I need to make a new software available on build nodes, I need to make sure this can be installed from the command line, not from the graphical interface on the
Okay.
Windows.
Okay, next question about force reviews. Sorry, I got a few of this. So how exactly do you enforce reviews on the code, or do you also do reviews on the assets?
We have triggers on the perforce before submitting to make to check what is what developers try to submit. Like if this is some sort of CPP file or anything like that, or this is only U assets. So if there is some test connected with the assets, we also can run tests for them. But mostly we are focused that the forcing review are strictly connected to CPP or any other source files, because this is main problem if project is not compiling.
But you have a version control here, perforce helix. So do the people, the coders, submit changes and then the triggers check the submit and do something?
No,
or is it they need to shell things, or do they need to go to Swarm, do a review files or other code files, but direct submit is disabled? So this is the process.
No, the direct submit is enabled, but there must be review accepted and test must pass in that review. We do it by checking the via API of Swarm on the trigger. We just call the API of Swarm and check if for certain CL is there is a review with all past needed things.
Okay, so the submit happens directly by the programmers, but then review needs to be done in Swarm in accepted state. Okay.
If there is no past review, we show after hitting the submit button. Developers will see that there is no review accepted, so he cannot just submit it.
Okay, one more question about UGS badges. I've noticed that you had their editor, you had the platform badges, I think. So and there is also some other badges. Can you share what exactly do you have there? And also, editor is for the editor build.
Yeah.
But the platform badges probably means compiling the game for the platform, target platform. Probably also cook and packaging checks are done for this badge.
Yeah, the badges for the platform are connected to the packet, cook it, and build game. But we also there was not on the screenshot, but we are also building servers. So there can be even more badges or tests that be visible in the UGS. But honestly, I was I was screenshotted the UGS that is has as the smallest number of badges from our all projects.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Well, the last question. There appeared a question. There mention about the list of that Swarm contain can have some kind of list to test to pass in Swarm review. Does it the part of do you sorry for that, do you remember this the part of normal Swarm, or do I have to this is hidden behind another Perforce subtool?
No, this is just normal Swarm mechanic, but but that is only a webhook to the build system. So Swarm can send a request for the Jenkins to build and test everything we want to test. But for the Swarm, this is like just triggering a webhook, not more than that. All parameters are passed and the links to give back the results, but the Swarm are not running it ourselves.
Okay, completely different than GitHub. Thank you very much.
Someone else?
Thank you.